So here's the cool part of being raw. It is so easy that you can literally go into the produce section of the supermarket and basically get your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, right? You don't have to do anything special. Now, if the feeling comes about that it feels like you have to do something special, that is just because your ego really doesn't want to do it. Okay, and I'll say that again. The easiest diet for you to do is usually the one that you have already decided that you're going to do. A little bit of that is mental influence, right? So you're trying to influence yourself that it is very easy for you to do and it's very easy for you to follow through. You don't want it to be really, really hard. So you're going to continue to tell yourself that it's extremely, extremely easy. Now, you'll also find the truth in that, because all you have to do to get food for and maintain a raw vegan diet is to go into the produce section of your grocery store. Now, of course, you can get more fancy and stuff like that with your recipes, but you don't have to. You can literally eat 15 bananas a day, 20, 30, 50 bananas a day. You heard that one before, right? But you could. You don't have to, but you could. You can also eat raw plantain, right? So you probably didn't know that. You can't wait for the plantain to get ripe. You can wait for it to get, I wouldn't say 100% black, but somewhat blackened, and you can eat raw plantain. So if you want to be fully raw, you can just eat raw plantain. You can also eat cauliflower raw. Just get a head of cauliflower, mince that up, eat that, throw that in some of your salads, which I know the salad is the most obvious, but that's another thing you can eat. Because there's always a question of what can you eat when you're on a raw vegan diet. That's why I'm making this video. So some of us need to spell it out. Some of us need for us to, spell it out to one another. So I'm just reiterating that it's obvious to eat fruit raw. Avocado is a fruit, you can eat that raw. So it's like the easiest thing to do. Also, those pre-washed salads that they have, that's something that you can do. It doesn't have to be always you fixing the stuff, always washing and chopping and prepping in that way. Specifically if you have enough money for it too. You can even get the things delivered to you. So it's like, it's really no excuses. The point is, you want to convince yourself that it's easy. You want to remind yourself that it's easy. And that will help you stick with it longer. So I'll just continue to list some more of the foods on the list that don't need like a whole lot of prepping, don't need a whole lot of seasoning, a lot of fuss. Basic. Not the gourmet ones, not the gourmet raw foods, right? But just the simple, satisfying things. And obviously when it's in warmer months, it's a little easier because you just naturally crave juicy fruits and you crave lighter things and lighter foods. But I'll show you even heavier type of raw vegan foods that you might want. Like, let's say zucchini, that's a little heavier. Cashew sauces. What is a cashew sauce? You may think it's gourmet. It could be if you eat a lot of it, but it's not really, because all you have to do is add a little water, maybe a little lemon juice, or maybe a little water and salt, and there you have it. And some raw cashews or lightly heated cashews, and there you have like a nice little dressing. So for your salad, or raw tahini butter, you can buy that from the grocery store. So again, this is a way of showing you and giving you the most laziest ways you can continue to have this diet and add variety to your savories, your cucumber, your cauliflower, your minced broccoli. Don't try to eat it raw. It's kind of hard unless you got the good strong teeth and you just like, you know, the way it feels when it's going down. But it's not very water rich, so anytime you add broccoli to something raw, you probably want to mince it up fine. What else? Tomatoes is very easy. This is less obvious. Squashes actually is something that you can eat raw. I think pumpkins as well. But yeah, mostly squashes. So butternut squash. If you get one of those spiralizers, and I do have that in my Amazon storefront. So if you check in the description, you'll see a link for that. And yeah, just get the light processing of these fruits and vegetables, and you will see that again, it is really, really not hard. It is the most simple thing and simple prep. Why some people think that the raw vegan diet is hard or is very hard to maintain the diet is for this simple fact: addiction, nostalgia. Those are some of the culprits. All of that is mental, because you sense, you feel that you need something salty, you need something heavy fat with heavy oil laden, something like a pizza with cheese or something like that, or a cooked tomato sauce. This is how you used to eat, you know, a little buggy today. This is how you used to eat, but you're not eating like that anymore. So the best thing to do is do your best to substitute. So that's when you want to get a raw vegan cookbook or some raw vegan recipes, something like that, occasionally, so you can transition. Now, these things are not quick meals. So if you think you're just going to grab a raw pizza, that generally doesn't happen unless you know of a very good raw restaurant in your area. There are some, but to make it to that level, like the raw vegan burgers and things like that, you may not find that. So there is some prep that you have to do, right? And again, that's no deeper. That doesn't take any longer than just the food blender or the food processor and mincing some ingredients together, some onion, some mangoes, some red peppers, putting it in a dehydrator, probably 8 hours or plus 8 hours, 118 degrees or less. And it takes a while, you know? So if you want to do that for the whole week and make a whole meal, you can. But again, remember, things that you can grab. You want to use chronometer at first as well, because you want to make sure that you're supplementing well, or you're getting all your essential nutrients in your diet. So you want to make sure you get your omegas. That's your raw nuts, your raw seeds, your chia, your flax, your avocado, if you're okay with that. If you're on low fat, you want to watch how much avocado you do. Your tahini, nut butter. You want to make sure you're getting your vitamin C. Now that's the easiest thing, because that's just based on the colors. And the colors that you have, like purples, berries, your cabbage. It is so fun, eating this way, Beta carotene, vitamin A. Get your yellows and your oranges, your squashes, your pineapple. Enzymes for your stomach, pineapple again, So it's really fun. And if you look at it like that way, again, if you look at it from a point of view where, wow, this is fun, this is an adventure, wow, I've never seen that fruit before, you'll see how many things you discover and you won't want to quit. But again, if this is just a challenge, if this is like a 3-day thing, 7-day, 30-day, 21-day, whatever, if it's brief, you'll still have a great time. But this is still the MO. You still want to have this mindset that, wow, this is for me. I deserve this. This is life-affirming food. Wow, it's so hydrating. And you may not even have to drink a lot of water with the diet if you do mostly fruit diet. If you do mostly vegetables, obviously, you'll still maybe want to have your 8 glasses of water or your gallon, whatever you feel is best for you, your gallon a day. But you really won't have to, you know, you really don't have to drink a whole lot of water. But again, I don't mess in those areas. You'll see for yourself, you know, if you feel hydrated or if you need to cleanse that way. But as for the foods, hopefully this clarifies how to like jump right into it, and it demystifies it and doesn't make it like it's some weirdo thing. So I know the ego, and we'll say people, but we listen to it. So it's like part of the ego is saying you're crazy, nobody else is doing this, but you have to remind yourself. A lot of the foods that you're eating are still the foods that you're going to be eating. It's just you're eating them in raw form. The only thing that you're really eliminating is the dairy, the meats, and any other type of flesh like that. Now, if that's extremely hard for you, I would say start with a cooked vegan diet. That will prove way easier for you, specifically if you have a cooked food addiction, and just try to go one day without cooked food and you'll know if you have an addiction. Pay attention to your thoughts and body aches or whatever the case is. I don't think that happens, but if it's that far in where you believe like, oh, I'm aching because I can't have a cookie, you know, then you know you like that laid down, tranquilized feeling of what hot food does to you. So, you know, just go a little slower. But I just wanted to remind you guys, this is easy and you can do it. I believe in you, and thank you for watching. And if you want to continue watching about how you can survive as a raw vegan newbie, I do have a playlist together, and just check that playlist about raw vegan newbies. Start here, and that should help you. And I love you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Have a great day.